Okay, hello, am I audible? Hello? Please type yes in the chat box if you can hear me. Okay. Let us share my screen. Okay, so in the last lecture, we started with the notifications and we saw how we can create the notifications in the Android operating system. Now the today's lecture will be actual handling the interactions and the actions with the notifications, and also we are going to see how we can stylize our notifications. So as I said, from the Oreo onwards, they have created a different style for a different kind of notifications. So we are going to see what are the different available styles are given by the Android Oreo onwards, and how to apply this style, and for which particular scenario which style can be used. But before that, we'll see how to handle the notification actions. Okay. Uh, so let's see how we can handle the events related to the notification. Now, this is basically called as the adding actions to the notification. Sometimes you have observed that if someone sends you the message, or suppose if someone sends you an email, okay, there is a notification created, which is basically generally called as the heads up notification. And when you see that notification, you will see some title for that notification, and you will see some text or the contents of the notification. Now below that, okay, there can be some actions involved with the notification. For example, if the notification is about the WhatsApp message, then you might get two buttons, such as you can mark that particular chat as a read, or you can reply to that particular chat. Suppose if any email notification comes as a heads up notification, then again you have two buttons for that notification. Either you can archive that particular message, or you can reply to that particular message. Okay. So whatever these actions which are visible inside this heads up notification are basically called as the notification actions. Now we know in order to add the actions to anything in the Android operating system, we need to have the intents. Okay. But okay, here we have a different kind of intent that's basically called as the pending intent. That's basically called as the pending intent. Now we have already seen what do you mean by intents. Okay. Now the question is, what do you mean by pending intents? Okay. So in order to know that, uh, I just want to know what is the definition of intent, or what's the actual use of the intent. Okay. Then we can see how the pending intent differs from the actual intent. Yeah, anyone can tell me the definition for the intent, the traditional intent that we have seen. Not actually the definition, but its use. Why we are using the intents, and once we know why the intents are used, we'll see how pending intents are used and how they differ from the traditional intents. Yeah, anyone in the chat box? What do you mean by intent, or why the intents are used? Exactly. So intents are basically used to call another activity. Now the question is, whenever we are calling or whenever we are executing another activity by using the intent, it's from the current activity. Okay. For example, I have written the code for activity A, and from the activity A, I want to execute the activity B, or I want to call the activity B. Okay. Then This can be done via the intent. Okay, but the most important thing here is whatever the code for calling the activity B is there, that must be written inside the activity A. Okay, so whatever the activity you are going to call, okay, that code should be written in the current application code. Okay, so that is about the intent. Okay, now pending intent is also used to call another activity, or it is also used to execute another activity or another application. But the most important thing, is, in case of pending intent, you are going to write the code for the intent, but some other activity is going to execute that intent on behalf of your application. Okay, so what we said, in case of the traditional intent, you are writing the code and your activity was calling the intent. Okay, in case of pending intent, you are writing the code, and rather than calling that particular activity within your application, okay, you are basically sending that intent to some other application, and that other application on behalf of your activity is calling that particular intent. Okay, so pending intent is just you create an intent and hand over it to some other application, and your application will execute that intent on behalf of your activity. So this is the simple scenario for the pending intent is there. Okay, so in order to understand how we can create the pending intent, okay, let me show you an example. So here I have created a sample activity. Okay, now this is a blank activity. In order to understand the example, we have to create one code here. Okay, so this is a blank activity I have. Now I'll go to the XML code view, and as I said, in order to handle the action, we need to add some kind of component which will have the click action. So we'll add the simple component, that's a button. Okay, so obviously, whatever the last lecture's code is there, I mistakenly deleted that. Okay, so I think we have to rewrite this code. So ID, I'll call it as a BTN, and we'll invoke the onClick action, and we'll call the method show here. So just create the method show, and quickly we'll create a notification. So let's see how we can create the notification. So we know for a notification, we have the notification compact class. Okay, so let me correct this spelling. So it's a notification compact dot builder. I'll be calling it as builder is equal to new notification compact dot builder. And what does it take is basically two things. First is the context, and the second is the channel ID. So I need to create the notification channel first of all. So let's create the notification channel first of all. So notification channel, I'll call it as notification channel is equal to new notification channel, and here you can see I can give three arguments to this particular constructor. So I'll call it as ch1, then name. So I'll call it as name1, and the importance, that's a priority. So I can give here it as the importance of high. Okay, and this channel I can use here as a name. So first is the context. The context is of a main activity dot this, then the channel name. Okay, channel ID. So we have given the channel ID for creating a channel as ch1. So same channel ID I'll be using it here. Okay. Now as you can see here, by creating a notification channel, we get one warning that notification channel is concept from the Android O onwards. So we need to add the annotation @requires API for the Android Oreo. Okay, so we have added this to line, and let's create a quick notification with the builder object. So let's say builder dot set we'll set a small icon. Before that, we'll add this particular small icon quickly. So let's right click this, drawable, new, and we'll choose one vector set. Okay, so I'll choose this icon for 4K, and let me increase its size to 24 by 24 dp. Click on next and then finish. So let's wait it. It's adding the icon here. Okay, so it has added the icon. Now I can set this particular icon. So I can just set small icon r dot drawable dot baseline 4K. Okay. Then I can set a title here. So builder dot set content title. I'll call it as test title. Now we have built the notification. Now we have to create the notification by calling the method builder.build. So I can say notification n is equal to builder object dot build. Now as you can see, the build method returns the notification. So I'm assigning it to the object of type notification. And once I do that, okay, I need to publish that notification. Now in order to publish that particular notification, we require a notification manager class. So I can say notification manager, let's say nm or notification manager is equal to get system service, because we are going to get the reference to the notification service, and we'll call it as a notification service. Now, as we know, get system service returns the object of type object. So we need to typecast it to the notification manager. And then what we can do here is the notification manager object dot notify. Before that, we need to create a notification channel, and we'll pass the notification channel object here. And then we can say manager dot notify. Then you can pass any ID here and the notification n as a second parameter. So let's run this code and see what happens. So let me launch the device preview. So wait, it's installing the app. Okay, now if I click on the button, you can see the notification is generated. Okay, now what we have to do here is we have to show the actions. Okay, now how to show the actions here is simply make use of the builder object. So I can say the builder object is called as builder dot, and the method we are supposed to call is the add action. Now, as you can see here, the method add action takes 3 arguments. Okay, the first is the int icon. That's basically what you can say, the ID of the drawable resource file. Then the character sequence title. Okay, which basically means what will be the text appearing on that particular button, and the third is the actual pending intent. Now, since we haven't seen currently the pending intent programmatically, I'll pass this third parameter as null. Okay, so let's set the icon first. So add action, and I'll be choosing the icon from the Android dot r dot drawable dot, and let me choose the icon for call is there or not. icon for send is there or not. R.drawable, and here you can see the different icons are available from the Android OS. Let me choose a proper icon here. So I choose this IC Media Fleet. Okay, and then we know the second parameter is basically the text. So I can say call, or I can say callback. And the pending intent, since I haven't created any pending intent, I'll pass this third parameter as well. So what we did here, we simply called the method add action on the given builder object of the notification. And now this time we are going to run this code and see what happens. Now if I click on the hello world, as you can see, the callback button is appearing here. The callback button is appearing here. Now, since we haven't added any pending intent, okay, you can see this callback button is disabled. This callback button is disabled. Okay. Now the thing is we have to add the pending intent. So how to create the pending intent? So for that you can see I have written the method. For creating the pending intent, you have to use a static method that's basically called as the get activity for the class pending intent, which requires three parameters. One is the context. The second is the request code, which specifies how you are going to call the another activity. And the third is the intent flag. Sorry, the third is the intent, and fourth is the flag. Okay, so intent we know what we have to do, and flag means what we are going to do with the current activity. So whether the current activity will remain as it is by calling the another activity, or the current activity will end by calling the another activity. That is defined by the flag. So one thing is for sure, before having the pending intent, you can see here I need to create the intent first of all. So I can say for a callback, I want to launch a dialer. Okay, so for that I'll be creating the intent here. So I can say intent I is equal to new intent. Now this is the implicit intent I'm going to create. Now I dot set action, and for the dialer activity, the action is action underscore dial. So I can say it's a action underscore dial. Okay. Now I have the intent object ready, and now I can create the pending intent on that intent. So I can say pending intent P is equal to pending intent class name dot the method called as the get activity. If you want to call the multiple activities, you can execute the method get activities. Now, since I'm going to call a single activity, I'm calling the method get activity. Okay, so as you can see here, get activity method takes first a parameter, which is the context. So I can say get application context, comma, the request code. Now the thing is, the request code we don't know what we have to use. Then you can see there are some constant provided by the Android application itself. So the request code means whatever the activity we are going to call, how this particular activity get called. Okay, so by default we want to call by cancelling the current activity. So I can say the request code will be passed as 0, and the intent object I have created with the name I, that should be passed here as I, and the next is the flags. So I'll be passing the flags as 0. Okay, now here we have the pending intent P, and then for this particular action, I call the pending intent by passing it as a last parameter. Okay. So for this add action, pass the last parameter, which is nothing but the reference of the pending intent that we have created. Now once you do that, simply execute your app again. And if you click here, you can see you are getting the small icon, the notification, and a small icon, the name of the app, then the current timestamp along with the name. And if you click on the callback now, If you click on the callback now you can see it's launching the dialer one. So if I click on just once, it will launch the dialer. Okay. So this is how we can basically perform the various event handling with the pending intents. Okay. So you can add any number of actions to your notifications with the help of add action method. So just remember, what you need to understand here is how you can create the pending intent. Okay, and once you create a pending intent from the intent, you can pass it as a last parameter for the method that's called as the add action, which will add the actions to your notifications. Now let's see the next point that we have here, and that is called as the styling notifications. Okay, so from the Android Oreo onwards, the Android has added various different styles to the notification. One is called as the big text style, another is called as big picture style, then there is an inbox style, and there is a message style. So these are the four styles that we have for the Android notification from Oreo onwards. Okay, so let's say the first notification style. This is basically called as the big text style. Okay, if you are writing some app where you are going to post some kind of news to your app via the notification, then the big text style is useful. Okay, so generally, if you install any news channel or any newspaper app on your Android device, okay, then they'll be showing you the news inside notification, and whatever the style that they are using is basically the big text style. Okay. Now, in order to set the style to the notification, we can call the method builder.setStyle, and here you can pass the object of the style that you have. So let's see how we can apply the style to the notification. Okay, before that, let's have a look how this notification looks. So you can see this is the icon, this is the title, and this is the action. So this is how the normal notification looks like. Now, in order to apply the style, I'll be using the same builder object here. So I can say builder dot, and we need to call the method set style. Okay. Now set style method, as you can see, requires one parameter of style. So I need to create the object. So I can say new notification dot, and here you can have the different styles. So I'll use big text style, and then as you can see, the big text style basically returns the style, and we can call the different methods on that. So I'll call it as set big content title. So I'll call it as big title. Okay. Dot set big text. I need to set a big text here. So I'll open the Chrome and I'll copy some lorem ipsum from there. So let me open a Chrome first of all, and I'll go there and just type lorem ipsum, which is a text that we have for every application development. So I'll simply go here and copy this lorem ipsum. Okay, and I'll paste it here. We'll close the browser now, and I'll save this here. And let me add the paragraphs. So I'll be just adding the paragraphs one below another. So this is the big text that we have. Okay, and let's try to run the app. Now if I click on the hello, as you can see, this is the big title. And once you expand that, you can see the big text is available inside the notification. Okay, now the most important thing Okay, once you click on or once your notification is generated, what is actually shown is nothing but just the title of the notification. Okay, and when the big text will be visible once you expand that notification. Okay, so this is basically for the app which generally sends you the news via the notification. Okay, let's see what additional thing we can do with it. So in this case, I'll choose a big content title. Okay, so let's call it as uh, heavy rain in Kolhapur. Okay, and let's see what difference it makes. Then if I click here, as you can see, it says heavy rain in Kolhapur. And if I expand that, it will show you the text. It will show you the text. Okay. Now, if you want to add some summary here, you can set the summary also here. So let me remove this. Let me remove the extra things that we are going to see here. So remove this text and we'll set the summary here. Set summary text is equal to pi by BBC News, something like that. And now let's try to run it and see what happens. So click on the hello. Now as you can see, it shows the title. Then it shows you the text. It shows you the text, and on the top right corner, as you can see, it will show you the summary. Okay, so this is the news from the BBC, something like that. Okay, so this is how you can use the big text style. Okay, generally if you want to show some custom news via your app, you can go with the big text style. Okay. Then sometimes you might have observed that if someone posts a new photo on the Instagram, or if someone posts a new photo in your WhatsApp, okay, that's again visible to your notification. Okay. Now that particular style of the notification is basically called as the big picture style. Okay, if someone posts some picture on the Instagram, you'll be notified about that particular picture, and that picture itself is visible inside the notification. Okay, so the style that Instagram is using is basically called as the big picture style. So let's see how we can set this particular style. The only change that we require here is the object that we need to create is the object of the big picture style class. Okay, the object of the big picture style class. Now let's see what additional method we have for this particular class. So if I put a dot here, you can see we have these many methods. So the first method is I can set the big picture. The second thing is I can set the big large icon, which can be the bitmap one. Then the next thing is I can set the big content title, and I can set the summary text. So I'll use the summary text as it is. I'll call it as BBC text or BBC News, something like that. Then I want to set the big picture here. Okay. Now see carefully. The big picture method takes the argument of type bitmap. Okay. So I'll call the method big picture, and whatever the string, whatever the resource I need to pass here, it should be in the bitmap. Okay. So let's see how we can deal with this bitmap image. So as you can see, I have downloaded one picture here, but it's in the JPG format. So what we'll do, we'll simply copy this image. So I'll simply click on the copy. And as we know, all the images we put inside the drawable file. So I'll simply paste it here, called as a pc.jpg. Okay, now we can set the big picture. Now the thing is, this peak.jpg is not a bitmap image, but we have to generate a bitmap image from the JPG file. So we can do that. So for that, we can use one class, and that class is called as the bitmap factory. So bitmap factory dot, and we can search for the methods. And here you can see the bunch of methods are available here. And the methods which can be useful for us is nothing but this decode resources. So I can say that decode resources. I'll just add one slash in here. So decode resources, the first parameter is resources. So I call get resources, comma. The next is the resource ID. So r dot drawable dot pc. That's it. Now let's run the code and see what happens. So if I click on the hello world, you can see there is the notification, and once we expand that, you can see the image is available inside the notification. Okay, so this is how we can generate a big picture style notification. Okay, so generally the heads up notification is generated. Sorry, yeah, I think I clicked on the wrong. Let me generate it again. As you can see, once I click on the button, it will generate a notification which looks normal, like a normal heads up notification. And once we expand that, you can see the image here. Now this time the summary text is added at the top of the image. Okay, not on the top right corner, but immediately above the image. Okay, so this is how you can display the image inside your notification, which is basically called as the big picture style. Okay, let's see whether we can set a big icon here or not. So let's say big large icon, and this time we'll set the same one. So bitmap factory dot decode resource, and let's try to run this code again, and let's see what happens. So we click on the button, the notification is generated, and as you can see, at this time a picture is shown here, which is a big picture, and on the top right corner again one icon is shown, which is a big picture icon. You can set any icon here. So suppose if I want to choose some traditional vector from my current project, I can do that also. So I'll add a slash in here, and now I'll choose the traditional vector from my current project. So I can say bitmap factory dot decode resource get root sources, comma, the ID of the drawable. So I can say r dot id dot, it has 4k, not r dot id, it's r dot drawable dot baseline underscore 4k. And now if you run the code, you will see the different image as a large icon. So click here, and yeah, so it's basically not generating it from the vectors, or it's basically showing a white color for this. Let me change the color for this, and let's see what happens. Or I think we can set the color programmatically. Let's see how we can set it. I think it's from the XML file, it's not going to create the bitmap, or it's not possible to change its color here because we don't see any methods available. Okay, so what you can do, you can have the traditional JPG here, and then you can create a bitmap from the traditional JPG. Then it will work. Before the XML, it does not work. Let me check it again, but here it's not working. So for a traditional JPG image, it works, but for the vector XML, it's not working. Okay, so this is what we call it as a big picture style. Okay, the next style that you have is basically called as the inbox style. Okay, whenever the notification is sent uh, from the uh, from the app such as a Gmail or what we can say any other additional email service, okay, then these notifications are the stacked one. Okay, so if you want to create the stacked notification, you can go for the inbox style. Okay, let's see how we can generate the inbox style notifications. So we'll go here and we'll change the style to the inbox style. Inbox style. And if I add a dot here, you can see we have a method that's called as an add line. So let me add a line 1. Again, we'll call the add line method. Let's call it as line 2 and add line 3. Okay, let's add one more method that's called as set summary text. Okay, I'll call it as from Gmail, and let's try to run the code and see what happens. So let me remove this notifications, and as you can see, once I expand the notification, the lines are added one below another. Okay, so this is the simple way to generate a notification, which is the inbox style. If you have the multiple emails, okay, then all the messages will be stacked under the one notification. Okay, here we are denoting it with the line 1, line 2, and line 3. So what we can assume here is the line 1 is a one email message, line 2 is another email message, and line 3 is another email message. So I can say 3 email messages can be stacked together inside a single notification. Okay, so this is basically the inbox style. This is basically the inbox style. And the last that we have is basically called as the message style. Okay, it's basically called as the message style. So let's see how we have here the styling elements for the message style. So notification compact dot, I can say message style dot add message. So first is the timestamp. Let's see what we have here. Yeah, so the message style requires one parameter text. So let's add the same parameter feature here. Dot add message. It requires 3 parameters: character sequence, timestamp, and the person. So let's say the character sequence text, some text, then the timestamp. Okay, so how we have the timestamp is 0. So this is generated currently, and the last is the sender. Okay, so how we can assign the sender is something like that. So let's say feature 1. Let me add a slash in here. Okay. And this time, if you run the code, you'll be seeing the notification in a different style. If I click here, you can see some text is available, and if I expand that, okay, it will be shown in this particular way. But the thing is, generally the message style is the normal style that's available, or the default style that's available for the notifications. Okay, so as you can see, when I use that, it's giving some dashed messages here. Okay, so what this dashed line denotes is basically these things are now deprecated, or these things are no longer used, because this has been added as a default style for the notification. So what we can say, what actual style exists in the notification is either a big text style, or the big picture style, or the inbox style. Okay, so these are the some style that are available with the notifications. So what we have seen today is how to handle the actions with the notifications, and also how we can apply the styles with the notifications. Okay, so I think here we complete chapter number 5. From the next chapter, we are going to start with the SQLite database. So if you have studied the database connectivity in third year, please brush up your concepts because some concepts are going to be we are actually using in this particular lecture. Okay, so please clear your concepts about the database connectivity because from the next lecture we are going to start with the SQLite. Now, if you have any doubts for the current lecture, you can ask me in the chat box. Otherwise, you can leave this meeting one by one. If you have any doubts, you can ask in the chat box or you can leave the meeting one by one.